Hello and welcome to the first edition of the Full Potential Show. We're here in beautiful San Narciso, Zambales, Philippines, here on Crystal Beach. And we're doing our first broadcast of the Full Potential Show. Now, the situation is not perfect. Maybe you'll get some wind in the microphone and the occasional sand shark may appear on land and carry one of us off. But in the end, we're going to have the importance of the message conveyed to you in this video, and that's why we're here. So let's begin. Now, you may be wondering to yourself, what is this all about? Why am I here, and what am I going to get out of this? The point of this show is to help you reach your full potential. It's a two-way process, internally building yourself up to your full potential and being aware of what's going on in reality so that, too, you can work with to reach your full potential. And this will become more clear later. Now, who am I to teach this? Well, in the course of my life, I've always had a driving desire to know what it is about me that makes me me. And in that experimenting, in that process of discovering that, I understand that every single part of me, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, can be rewired. It can be remapped. You can control those aspects of yourself to have an overall more enjoyable experience of life. And I have done that in my own life, and I feel a great desire to share this now. It's a passion of mine, and it's not of my own invention. 80% of this stuff has come through experts down from thousands of years ago, the ancient philosophers, all the way up to the just deluge of information that we have today. And so I'm presenting the information in a new way. I offer a new perspective, and I hope you find this as valuable as I have. I've just compiled it all, and now I'm presenting it to you here today on Crystal Beach. Potential is not an achievement. It is a state of mind. It's a state of living constantly. And to reach that kind of peak state most of the time, in most of the day, you have to do certain things. And if you perform those exercises as a regular part of your day, you'll be living at your full potential for most of the day. And with that kind of fuel driving you every day, anything that you desire is really possible at that point. Because energy, as you'll come to find, is one of the most important aspects of really being able to do whatever it is that you want to do in life. Energy is the key. So let's now go through this whole philosophy of full potential so you have a better understanding from an overview perspective. And in the coming days that we do this program, I'll go into each area into more detail. So if it doesn't totally make sense this first time through, I'm going to do my best to just give you the full-on overview. And it's been broken down to be as easy as possible to understand. But like I said, there are some key areas that we can go into more depth. So, starting with the first area of full potential, we have the garden. Now, in every person there is a garden. It's the unconscious mind. And this garden has everything stored in it from the time that you were a child. And all of those experiences have gone into the garden and have formed your perspective, which is the next level up. And your perspective is how you see the world now. It's the way that you look at things. And if you look at your garden, if you become aware of experiences in the past, you will find that if you look at them in new ways now, in the moment, you can actually change the way that you look at things in the future. And this may not come as a surprise, or it may be shocking to find out that you can actually change things from the past. Time is not static. The event has already happened, but you always have the power to shift your perspective and look at it in a new way. And when you do, you actually change what's gone into the garden. Now, the garden is producing the habits that form your life right now. And if you don't like those habits, if you don't like the person that you are right now, you can go back and you can look at what started those habits, what has formed you into the person that you are now. And now it's time to become aware. If you don't like the experience of life right now, it's time that you become aware of what is causing you to continue to do the things that you do day by day, because awareness is the first step to putting things into perspective and saying, I want to pause this right now. I don't like where my life is at right now. I don't like the day-to-day habits that I'm taking right now. You're in control of that. If you just say I don't like it and you continue to go through with the experience every day, and somebody says, how are you doing? And you go, I'm surviving. You've made that decision. You've made a conscious choice to continue to take those habits in spite of your ability and your power to choose new habits. And we're going to show you how. So you start with the garden. The garden, everything unconsciously has gone in since the time you were a child. Now you might become more conscious of it. There have been times maybe in your life when you're like, whoa, why did I think that? Why am I doing that? That's the awareness, the illumination on your past that has shifted your perspective in the present. And that's what we call your map. It's the perspective. The map is not the territory. Your perspective of reality is never reality. That's an important point to understand. Now, on top of the map is the life vessel. And what the life vessel refers to is your mind, body, and soul. And making those distinctions will help you figure out which areas you need to work on based on what feedback you're getting from life. For example, if your energy is drained, your mind isn't going to be able to think on a very high level, and your soul or your spiritual self isn't going to be able to express itself as fully as it would like to. So there are things that you would need to do on a physical level in order to reach your full potential there, so you can start to go to higher and higher levels of your physical being. Is this making sense so far? So physically, there are things that you can do, and we'll cover those, to reach a state of full potential, full energy, that will allow you to escalate into higher and higher levels of being and experiencing life. It's the first thing, physically. Mentally, there are things that you can do to hone in your mental self, things that you can control in your mind and strengthen so that you can become a more full potentialized, I just invented that word, a more full potentialized person, so that when the soul or the spiritual or conscience side of you wants to do something, knows what's right, it doesn't behave on impulse. It doesn't do what is easiest or comfortable. It does what is needed because you've built up yourself physically and you've built up yourself mentally. These are the kind of exercises that we'll cover more in depth. Going on from the life vessel, you have your life pyramid. Now, this is expressed as a pyramid sitting on top of your life vessel, which is represented as a ship. Now, the life pyramid is represented as a pyramid to help you understand how to prioritize the resources of your life for maximum benefit in your mind, body, and soul. It's all connected. Is this making sense? So the life pyramid starts out with time. Time is your most valuable resource. Without time, we're dead. Now, time is really an illusion of perspective, but that's a philosophical point that we can get into down the road. You do exist within time, though. You do exist within time and space, whatever physicists might say about the time continuum. Let's hone it in right now as our present reality. Time is your most valuable resource. And so there are certain things that you need to be doing on a day-by-day basis, including planning and leveraging and things that we'll get into, that will help you maximize that resource of time. And as you maximize that resource, you'll see all kinds of wonderful things come out of it, because now you're starting to understand what it takes to live a full potential life. The next step up from time is energy. In other words, the best investment of your time first is doing the things that will bring you greater and greater levels of energy. Is this making sense? Now, there are things that you can do to raise your physical energy, raise your mental energy, raise your spiritual energy on a day-by-day basis. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, by doing those things daily, you experience a whole different kind of life. Something that you enjoy, something that empowers you to take action when you feel it's right to take action, to act beyond impulse, to live a full potential life for whatever end that you might desire, but no longer are you a victim to circumstance or what you might be feeling at the time. The next level up from energy is knowledge.